Hey guys, we're back. We're playing some more. Oh my god. Oh, fuck off. We're playing some more Gold Rush. I got into that. Whoop. He's cheating. I got into. What was I doing? How did I fall in there? I don't know. Questions to be answered. Hello? Okay. Of course I was fueling up, wasn't I? Alright, that's cool. Let's drive away. No, I turned the engine on. Right, let's get out of the way with my truck. Come on. Alright, let's grab this baby. Okay. Won't be about there. I want to go into. Why does it go? Note to the developers. One, which is weird, your menu moves around when you swap, which is really strange. But two, when you added the gold map, you didn't add a position for it when you're pushing left and right trigger on the controller. So please fix. Thank you. Yeah, someone says it was possible to toggle multiple squares. Haven't really. Oh. So I've got that one toggled there. Then if I go to the. No, it just toggles it off. You can't. You can only do one. I would like it if you could do multiple. That would be lovely. Thank you. Anyway, we're doing our 351 square. We have a full of a crane operator. No, we have a full fuel tank, which is wonderful. We've got a full fuel tank, so we should be able to easily mine up the rest of this. So yeah, apparently my my move was quite costly due to the amount of time it took. So if you you check the comment section, Danubis worked out how much time it took me in game to do the move and how much money I actually lost doing it, which was relatively interesting to read. I think we'll definitely earn. So he worked out how much it cost due to the time that we wasted. We also worked out how much extra we're earning and how many ounces or how long we're going to have to work these holes before doing another major move for it to actually be a wise idea for us to have moved. But I mean, I suppose the bonus is that the it's pretty simple to move to the other ones around us, which is good. Like, at least it's not just the gold is very concentrated in a single square, because that would suck. Yeah, I knew that that wasn't a proper bucket there. And I poured most of that off the edge. Ah, useless. So, I was talking about this on Twitter just, like, literally before I started recording this. And, I basically, my parents are on holiday just now, my mum and dad are on holiday just now, and I basically commandeered their house last night, so I went and stayed in their house last night because my neighbour was being extremely noisy. The problem is, and I'm just gonna go out and say it, she's fat, and like, oh, you're fat shaming, Steve Joe. I'm not fat shaming, but when you're that fucking heavy on your feet due to it, I mean, I understand. It's like, yeah, well, she's heavy on her feet because like she's got weight on stage. That's not her fault. It's like, alright, okay, that's not her fault, but it's still fucking annoying. So regardless, so that's annoying. So that's like the day-to-day grind with the neighbour upstairs, and it does get annoying, especially when she decides to wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning just to like walk back and forth in her in the bedroom, which surprisingly is straight above my bedroom. So I'll be lying in bed after being up until like 4 in the morning, and then get woke up at 8. Plus, it's like, so I've probably said this before, but I've got really bad insomnia. So I go to bed and I have to read a book or something like that to get my brain to switch off. And I actually spoke to a Roomba about it, and he's convinced that I've got ADHD, which is why it, like, because I spoke to him about different things to do with my brain functions, and he's convinced I've got ADHD. I'm not so sure personally, but that's because I don't like to put these labels on things. It's like, yeah, well, you've got ADHD, so take these pills and that'll fix what's wrong with you. And it's like, I can understand if it's like a medical issue. Like, I'm happy enough to take pills, but stuff like that, it's like, oh, well, that'll change my behavior, and like, surely that's who I am. And I'm not disparaging anyone who's got ADHD, by the way, because I understand that it's something like that's quite bad for people. But I don't know. I don't like things like that. I don't like saying like, oh yeah, well, I've got that and that's my issue. I don't know, maybe I just don't like the easy way out. Maybe I just don't like thinking that, like, oh, shit, I could have fixed this ages ago. Regardless, that's beyond it. So I'll go to bed at like 4 o'clock or something, just due to like when you get finished work and stuff like that. And that time, I'll explain that time later. And then obviously my insomnia keeps me up for another, like, say, an hour and a half, where I'll have to sit and read my book. Then it'll be like, I fell in that freaking hole again. So it'll be like 5:30 when I finally get to sleep, and then getting woke up at, don't you dare stop, I was going to say, don't you dare stop at 9 ounces, and then you're getting woke up at 9 o'clock, 13 ounces, not bad, you're getting woke up at 9 o'clock, or 8 o'clock as it was the other day, and it's like, oh, I will murder you. So yeah, basically, like, that's the day-to-day grind with the neighbour upstairs. Then the issue is, and this hasn't happened in about 6 to 8 months, I think. No, actually, probably less than that. Probably about 4 to 6 months that this hasn't happened. But she used to always get her grandchild over to stay on a Saturday night, and they would stay Saturday night and Sunday. And the problem with that is you've then got a hyperactive child running back and forth across the hallway on top of you, which is basically impossible to record when it's like bum 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 bum. It's just annoying. It's annoying as hell. I don't suffer from any like extreme anxiety or anything like that from it. It's just annoying to me. So I can kind of force myself to do a couple of videos and try not to let it bother me, but it's still freaking annoying. But Susie really struggles with it. So basically I was like, well, that kid's obviously stayed the night because we saw the parents leave. Like, we saw them leaving the close, we call it. I don't know what people outside of Scotland actually call it. Basically the hallway between the apartments, the flats. And we've seen them leave, so we're like, oh fuck, they've left, but not with the child. Like, oh great. So knew they were staying, so I just says to Susie, I was like, right, let's get our work done. We'll pack up and we'll head to mom and dad's for the night, because that kid's going to be a nightmare in the morning. So that's what we've done. So the reason I brought this up is I was just saying on Twitter how nice it was to be somewhere, like to be in a house. I just miss it so much because it's just so relaxing. And two, how interesting it is to come to a place just to work, and how much easier it is to get motivated and how much less procrastination you do. I used to find it in university if that people would find it easier to like work in the library, like to do their essays and stuff, and I never understood it. I never understood why people would want to go into the library, because I find it really awkward going into the library to do my essays, but that's just me, that's just one of my strangities. But people found it really really helpful to go into the library to do their essays, and I never really understood it until pretty much today, where it's like, alright, okay, so it's kind of like it gets you out of that mindset. I think the difference was when I was at uni, I was like I wasn't in student accommodation, so I didn't have those pressures and stuff of my peers being around. The worst I had to deal with was my nephew coming to say hi. You know what I mean? So yeah, I kinda understand that. But yeah, the point I'm trying to make is it's ridiculous at how easily you are to get motivated and not procrastinate when you have to physically go somewhere to do your work. Because like today, it's like I woke up with my mum and dad's, had a shower, and then came back to my flat to get work done. Had a cup of coffee here, and then just starting work. You know what I mean? And it's no, it's weird. It's definitely an odd one at how motivated you feel. Don't get me wrong, I've done a bit of procrastination, but not anywhere near the levels of procrastination I normally attempt. I say I do a lot of hardly do procrastinate, not anymore. I used to a lot, but I feel better in myself today because I've had to come somewhere. I don't know how to accurately portray that you guys would you'd probably understand anyway. You aren't dumb, but yeah, it's definitely, it's like 100% a weird one. Alright. I was like, what the fuck is that? Someone outside's revving their engine, probably try to defrost their car, because it is. I reckon freezing here. Wait a minute. Oh, I was going to say, wait a minute, I didn't actually do that properly, did I? So 13.3 ounces. So I'm looking for at least 23 ounces. Right, I'm gonna, sorry, someone's revving their engine like that, I need to just check to see what it is. Yeah, it's the guy that's parked right next to where I parked my dad's car. Alright, so we got 11 ounces, so that's not too bad. It's the guy that's parked right next to my dad's car. I seen his car, man, and it's a red car, but it was pretty much white due to all the frost. It's mental. But yeah, it's pretty cold. It's pretty cold and it's pretty humid, which is meaning there's a lot of frost on the cars, on the old cars. God, every time I've jumped in my dad's car, it's been the windshield's been frozen on the inside. And I looked at I was on the internet looking at a few remedies and stuff like that, and I've done a couple of things after the last journey. But the problem is, the journeys that I'm making right now are like little 5-minute journeys. So you're basically defrosting and demisting the windscreen so that it's just viewable, so that you can drive safely, but no more. And then when you're getting out of the car, you're leaving it with condensation still on the windscreen, and that condensation freezes. So yeah, it's not ideal. But yeah, so I had a little look and done the things that the internet says to try, and we'll see. I'll see tomorrow, or later on actually, when I Have to get back in the car to drive it again. We'll see if it's still frozen on the inside, because that was a weird one, man. It's like defrosting the window from the inside. But I don't think it's, I 100% know that it's just condensation settling on the windscreen and then it getting very, and then the windscreen getting very cold. Alright. Oh yeah, it says why it's normally like 4 AM or something that I end up going to bed. And it's not because it's like I really just like being up late. It's because during the day, when people are up and about, it's, once again, it's a nightmare to get anything done. So like, if the woman upstairs is like walking about and stuff like that during the day, then you're like, right, I can't record right now, so you do something, you do other stuff. And then what ends up happening is, because you have to record after she goes to bed, or after she's like away from the places that, like away from being above the 2 offices. I mean, it's just one of those things, man. It's like you just get later and later, and then your sleep cycle gets later and later. It's just not ideal. It's just not ideal. Yeah, that's why I end up being up so late. But I mean, the sad thing is, it's like, and it's one of the reasons that I really dislike living in a flat, is that my life is dictated by what other people want to do. Like, I shouldn't know that that woman upstairs gets her grandkid on a Sunday. Like, why should I care about that? Hell, I don't even know when my own parents get their grandkids. So why the hell should I know when the freaking woman upstairs gets hers? It's nuts. It's mental. But that's the life of living in a flat. It's like freaking living like freaking, I don't even know. Just everyone's on top of each other. It's just freaking, it's just horrible. Well. So yeah. Anyway, I'm looking to try and get like a house or something. And the thing is, people are like, oh well, if it's that bad, why don't you just move? I was like, well, I can't move. I can't just move because I own the place. So it's not as simple as, oh, just move. It's like, yeah, well, when you got a mortgage with a place, you can't just move. So I need to either sell it or try and rent it out. And then if I try to rent it out, then I'm trying to get another mortgage on somewhere else, so I need to save for, because I want to rent it out, so I'm going to have to save for the deposit to get another place, because I don't like living in rented accommodation, especially when I can save for a deposit somewhere else. Alright. Freaking hole, man. What we're at? We're at 24, sorry. We can get at least to 34, I'll be happy. Oh, I got to 33. What is going on with this, man? Seriously. I can't understand the, I can't understand the gold distribution. Alright. We've got 100 grand, we've got 33 ounces of gold. Yeah, we're doing alright, we're doing alright. So I don't know, are we just going too low for the gold? Are we missing the actual pay layer? Is that the problem? Should I just be like scraping the top off of this? I don't know. Oh, I saw some gifs of the Frankenstein in action, and like the developers had like chained up 3 of them together, and it was just nuts. It's like, so they could just get the excavator like here and drop it off on like the first Frankenstein, and then that chain the conveyor belts all the way to the wash plant. It's just nuts, man. It's absolutely nuts, and I cannot bloody wait. I cannot wait. But unfortunately, guys, that's all we've got time for in this episode. So as always, thanks a lot for watching. I've been Steejo, you've been awesome. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.